Good evening and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge. I can read the chat. People are saying panic attack Bridge. They're saying too angry to go live Bridge. Well, it's probably somewhere in between, to be honest. I wouldn't say too angry to go live and I wouldn't say panic attack Bridge. But what I would say is absolutely fed up Bridge with what you have to say is quite simply whatever side of the fence you sit on, or even if you sit on the fence. It's very, very clear to everybody at the moment that this is weak leadership from INEOS because the decision should have been made. Like, it should have been made and it should have been communicated. And whatever you want that decision to be, it's weak leadership. I also think it's scary times. Like, the Southgate thing, I just don't understand why people keep saying, it's not even true. We don't even want Southgate. I've been saying this to you since March. Like, we genuinely do admire Southgate. Not us fans. No, not us. But certainly INEOS, Sir Jim Radcliffe, Sir David Brailsford, Dan Ashworth, they admire Gareth Southgate. So we've got a number of updates to bring you tonight. But they are scary. They are very, very scary. And United fan says lies. Well, you can say lies, but based on what? You know nothing. You know absolutely nothing other than you want to ignore your fears. This has been reported for 3 months now that Manchester United are categorically interested in Gareth Southgate. Dan Ashworth worked with Gareth Southgate for a decade and loves him. Sir David Brailsford loves him. They really like Gareth Southgate. They really admire Gareth Southgate. Now, whether he'll end up as Man United manager or not, I don't know. But riddle me a scenario that works better than why have we not made our decision when Tuchel's available, Pochettino's available, De Zerbi is available. Who's not available that we might be waiting for? Oh, Gareth Southgate. I don't know categorically that we're going to get Southgate, and I really hope that we're not. But I think those people who are sat there going, we're definitely not, it's a load of nonsense. I have no faith in you. I've got no faith in INEOS at the moment, but I've got no faith in the people on social media who go, it's lies about Southgate. Like they fucking know what the truth is. You know, do you think I'm going to listen to somebody saying we're not in for Gareth Southgate? Do you really think I'm going to listen to you? Because if we're not in for Gareth Southgate, can you tell us what is happening? Well, I can't tell you that. No, because you don't bloody know. So all these people who saying we're not waiting on Southgate, I'm telling you, we're not waiting on Southgate. We don't want Southgate. Well, who do we want then? Well, I can't tell you that. So you're telling me you don't know anything? Exactly. Goldio says, I'd rather put my balls in a cement mixer than get Southgate. They'll stick with Ten Hag for the next few months and then make the change after the Euros. Well, look, let me give you all of the latest on where we are at the moment. We're live a little bit early because I'm doing England. Kobe Mainoo's playing for England at 7:45, so I'm live a little bit earlier. We'll be on That's Football for that. But these are the updates that have come in today. Now, it started off with the Independent talking about Gareth Southgate being a priority for Manchester United. However, let's go through the day. Gareth Southgate is Manchester United's priority choice to replace Erik ten Hag in the Mail. That came in today. Also in the Independent. We've then had that INEOS are continuing to weigh up the future of Ten Hag and have put no timescale on delivering a review into the 23-24 season. That's from the Manchester Evening News. There is a reluctance from INEOS to sack Ten Hag without a clear plan to appoint a replacement. While a number of managers have been linked with the post, INEOS want to make sure that if they do decide to change manager, it is to make the right appointment rather than being forced into a union with a figure they are not convinced by. Manchester Evening News. Also in the Manchester Evening News, Erik ten Hag remains on holiday and isn't involved in discussions with INEOS over the review, which would make sense. But in the same article, Manchester Evening News, INEOS have always admired Gareth Southgate and have always had him towards the top of the list of potential replacements for Ten Hag. The England boss is still highly thought of by key figures, including Dan Ashworth and Sir David Brailsford. For now, he's out of reach as he prepares for the Euros. Do not come at me telling me we're not interested in Gareth Southgate, because you've got your head buried in the sand and your arse exposed and you're about to get booted up it. You know nothing. I know nothing. You know nothing. Stop telling yourself we're not in for Southgate when you haven't got a bloody clue what we're on about. You know, it's like walking across the road in your pants and saying it's not going to rain. Have you seen the weather forecast? No, I just don't think it is. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. But we're waiting for something. And what is not in doubt is that Dan Ashworth is going to be our director of football. And it absolutely loves Gareth Southgate. And Sir David Brailsford has a big part to play at Man United and absolutely loves Gareth Southgate. And Sir Jim Radcliffe apparently likes British things. So you can't rule this guy out. You just can't. I would love to rule him out. I don't want this guy. I will say to you what I've said before. If Man United appoint Gareth Southgate, I, for the first time in my life, am a manager out before he even manages a game. I don't want him at Man United. He's an absolute clown. He's destroyed England's chances in the last 2 tournaments. And if he doesn't win this one, he's an absolute prat. It's on a plate. It was on a plate in the World Cup, and it was on a plate 4 years ago. He's a crap coach. He's rubbish. He shouldn't be anywhere near a top job. Why he's being linked to Man United? I feel like I'm in a parallel universe. He's absolute shite. I don't want him anywhere near United. And if he gets the United job, I don't care if I'm singing in the darkness. I'm singing Southgate out. He's a bloody prat. I don't want him anywhere near United. Might be a nice guy in real life. I don't know. On top of that, I know for a fact that teams got leaked about England from him through his family to people who are influencers. I don't want him anywhere near Man United. I don't want him anywhere near us. He's never played for us. He's not a good coach. I never wanted him as England coach. I don't want him at Man United. So it's Southgate out if they try and do that. But I don't really care about Southgate because he can't appoint himself. What the bloody hell if, and it's a big if, but what the bloody hell are we doing even considering him? I hope these people are right. I hope we're not going to get him. But you can't argue with the fact that INEOS like him and he's on the list. What's he doing on the list in the bloody first place? Why is he on the list? What prat has put him on the list? It really does make me concerned about our ownership when they've put this guy on the list. I mean, what's Sir Alex Ferguson saying about this? He shouldn't be anywhere near a list for Man United. He wasn't on Liverpool's list. He wasn't on Barcelona's list. He wasn't on Bayern Munich's list. The only list he should be on, in fact, I'm not going to say that, it's too far, but he shouldn't be on that list. So why is he even on the list in the bloody first place? I'll argue with anybody. I don't care who it is. Sir Alex, Alan Shearer, I don't give a shit. Gareth Southgate shouldn't be on any Premier League team's list. What is he doing on Man United's list in the first place? And I'm not saying he's going to get the job. That is scaremongering. But you cannot deny that he's on Man United's list. And you also cannot deny that it could be one of a few conspiracy theories that we're waiting on Southgate to give him the job over Ten Hag, which I just find absolutely incredible. But this guy is a crap coach. He's always been a crap coach. His football is diabolical. He's got absolutely no grasp of modern football at all. He's a bad coach. He might be a good manager. He might be a good politician. And to be honest with you, the FA love him because he puts a waistcoat on and he should be the leader of... Rishi Sunak should get the sack and Southgate should be Prime Minister. He's a politician. And if that's what INEOS like him for, fine. As a politician, he's very, very good. He's good in interviews. He's a survivor. He should be singing with Beyonce. He's a bloody survivor. I don't know how he's survived. I mean, somehow he manages to survive. But as a coach, bloody awful. I've had to put up with this guy for 5 years as England manager. He's crap. I can't believe he's been linked to Man United. Look, he can't get the job. He absolutely cannot get the job. How can you sack a guy that maintains the majority of the fan base to give it to a guy who the majority thinks a prat? You can't do it. You can't do it. It's sabotage. But the fact that we're even considering him is a joke. It's a massive, massive joke. But look, you can't deny the fact, whether he gets the job or not, and I don't think he will, you cannot deny that he is on their list. And that's something I find massively, massively concerning. What collection of prats have we got on that board if they think Southgate's a Man United guy? And I've said this before. We can all criticise each other. We can all, have a pop at each other. But I know what Man United is. Most of you know what Man United is. And I've called this out before. Blanc, Sir Jim, Brailsford, Barada, Wilcox. What do you know about Man United? What do you know about Liverpool? What do you know about Barcelona? What do you know about Real Madrid? Well, this is a big thing. You can bring in specialists, but football clubs have identities. You can't go to Barcelona and give Eddie Howe the job. You can't go to Real Madrid and give Gareth Southgate the job. And you can't come to Man United and give Gareth Southgate the job either. Like, we have an identity. I mean, I've even saw crap today that I can't even get the words out. I find it hard. Gareth Southgate is admired by INEOS and is a lifelong Man United fan. Well, fuck a doodle do. Oh, well, everything's fine. Why didn't you tell me that? Oh, absolute. Oh, I know his football's really shit and he's a bottle job, but he's a lifelong Man United fan. Stop. Turn the kettle off. Calm. He supports Man United. Well, that's fucking fine. That is absolutely fine. I tell you what, Gareth Southgate supported Man United as a kid. Give him the job. And I tell you what, hold on a minute. Where's my phone? Okay. Yeah. Is my old headmistress still alive? Yeah, Beryl. I know she was about 70 when I was at school. She is. She's 98. Great. Does she fancy the Man United job? Because I remember she had a United scarf when it used to get cold. Whoa, United fan, that'll do. Yeah. She's not that well. She can't really move around a lot. Has she got WhatsApp? Has she got Zoom? Yeah. She still understands things. She's just her body's on the breakdown. Yeah, okay. Get her in. Yeah. So, yeah, Man United fan now. Oh, great. Have the Man United manager's job. Fucking hell, man. What a joke. Gareth Southgate, I've never heard in my life that he supported Man United. Never. I've never heard until the last few weeks that Gareth Southgate was a Man United fan. Never. I've seen him miss penalties for England. I've seen him get Middlesbrough relegated. I've seen him on the telly. I've seen him in a bloody waistcoat. I've actually never heard that he supports Man United. And suddenly we do. No, look, I agree. He cannot be Man United manager. And I'm not here to try and scaremonger that he is. But the news today is that he is high on the list for INEOS from numerous sources. And as I said to you in March, and I will stand by this, and it was different sources as well, Man United admire and consider Southgate. So you've got to say that, whether you like it or not, INEOS have been considering Gareth Southgate. Now, how much they've been considering and how likely he is to get the job, you decide. My point is not to sit here tonight and say that Southgate's going to get the job, but what I will argue with anybody is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has considered him and may be considering him very, very highly. That is not up for debate. It's not. Because people talk, and we have spoken to Southgate, and we have considered him. And my bottom line is, hopefully he will never, ever, 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 ever manage Manchester United. But what the hell are we doing even considering him? And what does that say about our best-in-class committee that they would consider him to manage Man United? That is my point. I rest my case. Because if somebody can explain to me why you have faith, trust and patience in a committee that would consider Gareth Southgate and Graham Potter, well, I tell you what, I'm all ears. Because never, ever, 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 ever are they Man United managers. Never. Never. David Moyes shits all over them and he should never have been Man United manager. We talk about Barada, we talk about Blanc, we talk about lifelong fan Sir Jim, we talk about cycling Sir Dave, and we talk about Wilcock's potential. But if those 5 people have had a conversation about Gareth Southgate, then they're all failures. Because somebody in that room should have said, is this a trick? Is this one of them things where we talk about something that you're not allowed to do and it's a trap? Because I just want to register, I think this is a stupid idea in case it is. Somebody should have said something and they haven't. It's been considered. And if that's your director of football, well, we're in big trouble. We are in big trouble. I don't understand it. There's a good comment here from JJ saying that INEOS is going British. Can I just say, this chat is probably, I would predict, very diverse. We've probably got 50% from the UK, and then we've got percentages from America, India, Ireland, Australia, all around the world. We are, yes, by definition, a diverse community, like the world is, yeah? Riddle me this. I read something today that Sir Jim Radcliffe and INEOS have got their heart set on having a British manager for the biggest club in Britain. And I thought, you can't do that. You can't do that. If I get a restaurant and I put an advert out saying, this restaurant is in England and I want an England manager, I'll get done for not being diverse. Now, that's an extremity. But what the hell does it even mean to say, I want an English manager at an English club? What? Tell me, can you just tell me the last English manager to win the Premier League? Oh, what? There isn't one? Oh, yeah. I mean, it makes no sense on any level. Oh, can you tell me the last all-English team to win the Premier League with Man United? Oh, there wasn't one. Oh, that's a surprise, isn't it? What a crock of shit. What a crock of shit. If I was INEOS, I'd be killing that dead. I'd be killing it. I'd be absolutely killing that shit. INEOS would like an English manager of the biggest English club. Why? On what grounds that? You know, are you losing your bloody marbles? What are you talking about? You want an English manager at Manchester United. It's not the 1900s. It's not the 19th century, sorry, which would be the 1800s. We want an English manager. Why? What? For what? Why do you want an English manager? Please explain that one. For what reason? What's that going to do? What are you going to do? Get us to the Arsenal game with a horse and cart? Fish and chips for tea? What are you talking about? You want an English manager? Bullshit. Absolute shite. Oh, nonsense. And that was I've read it more than once, but I read it today. Nonsense. Why do you want an English manager? What am I supposed to do as a Man United fan? Woo, get myself a bulldog and a tattoo. Fucking hell. What? I don't care. Couldn't give a toss about the passport. Does not bother me. I'm not part of those groups. I couldn't give a shit. I live in a diverse world. You know, I'm not bothered. I couldn't give a toss about the nationality of any player or manager or coach. I want the best. I want the best. If I fancy going for a curry, I'll go for a curry. If I want a Chinese takeaway, I'll go for a Chinese takeaway. I don't even have fish and chips that often. I don't take pride in my culinary, and I don't take pride in who the manager of Man United is based on their passport. Get me the best. Get me the best. I don't give a shit about British. I really don't. Which sounds a bit stupid when I've got 3 lines on my shirt, but I am English and I want England to do well. That's called supporting your country. But I don't give a shit about my club team having English strikers or whatever. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Would you like Gary O'Neill? I do like Gary O'Neill, but not because he's British. You know, I don't. United Stand waistcoats available now, says Ollie. Right, I've got to catch up on your chats. I'm not Italian. I have an Italian surname. I'm not Italian. Calm down, dear. It's only a commercial, says Jim. If Southgate wins the Euros with England in impressive fashion, do you think Sir Jim would dare to hire him as United? Look, John, I don't want to be offensive, but I think I could win the Euros. And I know people will laugh, but I genuinely think you'd struggle to find a coach that couldn't win the Euros with that team. It's so bloody good. He's the reason we don't. United stand waistcoat. If Southgate comes in, I'm Southgate out and INEOS out. Says Ina. Glazer's fucking us over again. Look, I hate to say it. I hate to say it because it's not what I normally do. But if we appoint Southgate, I can't back him. I can't. I honestly can't. And at least I can be honest. I'm not being toxic. I can't back him. There's too many videos. There's too many tweets. I've absolutely ridiculed him as a coach. I can't sit there and go, give him a chance. I just can't. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are in the same boat. And if they want to be a hypocrite or they want to change their mind, that is absolutely fine. But if by some horrible quirk of fate they ever give him the job, I can't back him. I can't, because it's hypocritical. This is why we should have got a full sale so we can get the best manager, says Darren. Well, if we got Qatar, do you think they were ever going to give Southgate the job? It's weird. INEOS think Gareth Southgate can get the best out of Rashford, Sancho, Maguire and Mount. You must admit these players played better for England than United. What? The Jadon Sancho that doesn't get picked for England? The Marcus Rashford that doesn't get picked for England? The Mason Mount that doesn't get picked for England? He doesn't even pick him. He doesn't even pick the English players. Error entitled Ten Hag one more season, no Southgate, says Dead. Mark, can you do a poll about Southgate or Poch? Clearly on INEOS is just like the Glazers and taking this club and its fans for granted, says Amir. I genuinely think even Leicester wouldn't go near Southgate, says Bart. You know, I've got That's Football. And on That's Football, I have said countless times, nothing to do with United. I've never, ever thought that Southgate would be linked with the Man United job. But honestly, I've said it on That's Football so many times, he wouldn't get a job in the Premier League. Like, he wouldn't get a job in the Premier League. Nobody would give him a job. Like, he's not good enough. I genuinely, that was from Bart. We're all speculating on the club's perspective. Do you really think Ten Hag would just sitting margaritas, says Deep. Dithereos are sending all the wrong messages, says Pete. Well, look, you're right. You're right. And I did want to say this. Hopefully, we'll still keep Ten Hag. It is not INEOS's job to come out and say that Ten Hag is losing his job. In fact, they could buy a player next week and go, I don't know what everyone's been talking about. We were never going to get rid of Ten Hag. And now we don't necessarily have to believe that, but they don't have to come out and say that they keep getting rid of Ten Hag. Somebody said to me today, why would Ten Hag stay? The trust is gone. And it's very, very true. But if INEOS frame it in a way that, well, we were just running a review. If we wanted to sack him, we would have sacked him. We haven't sacked him. Every club has a review. Newcastle will have had a review. They've had a bad season. Newcastle, look, this is a good point. Newcastle will have had a review. It's just not been done publicly. No way Newcastle haven't looked at Eddie Howe and that season and gone, where does the fault lie? Now, they've looked at it and gone, yeah, we're going to stick with Eddie Howe. Man United's review has been very public. So, talking about trust, when you think about it, well, INEOS could just say to Ten Hag, look, Eric, we have reviewed it because it's not been a good season. But ultimately, we want to stick with you. Now, Ten Hag could say, fuck you, or he could say, well, I understand. I understand it. It's not been a good season. I'm glad you're keeping me. So, look, there are lots of different permutations. The problem is, and I said it at the start of the video, and you have to acknowledge it, is that this is weak leadership. Because where there is indecision, conspiracy thrives. So, it's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's not Southgate's fault. It's not the media's fault. It's Manchester United's fault. The absence of a decision leads to conspiracy. Some will say it's going to be De Zerbi because his release clause has been paid. Some will say it's going to be Southgate because we're delaying and he's the only manager to delay on. Some will say we're just negotiating with Ten Hag on a new contract because he's only got 1 year left. Some will say we're undecided between Tuchel and Pochettino. So there is going to be theories. And you can't argue with people saying, I'm dreading Southgate or he's going to get a new contract. Every possibility actually is on the table because nobody knows what's happening. And INEOS have created that with their indecisiveness. Now, they can sit there and say, well, we're not sacking Ten Hag, so we never had to say anything. But you are in control. If you are a high-level celebrity and somebody comes out and says, I've been having an affair with them for the last 10 years and these kids are his or hers, and you just sit and say nothing, and your wife and your agent and your fans are giving you a load of shit, you could say nothing and say, well, I haven't done it, so I don't need to react. Or you could sue them. Or you could put a statement out. And you probably should sue them or put a statement out, because uncertainty leads to people thinking your silence is a silence because you are scared. And that's the situation we're in. And I know loads of people who are Ten Hag out who are as frustrated as people who are Ten Hag in, because not because they want Ten Hag to stay, but because they're like, what's going on? Like, what is going on? They've left this void. You've got players who don't know about their future as well. You've got the media frustrated, don't really care. You've got ex-players who have said publicly they would keep the manager and they don't know whether that's happening. You've got us, the fans. You've got Ten Hag himself. You've got the managers who are waiting. Everybody is being frustrated. So you have to acknowledge that. But look, honestly, the longer it goes on, we either are waiting for somebody that could be a Southgate, but I hope not, or we're doing it for a reason. Maybe we're waiting until July the 1st to sack Ten Hag in the next financial year. Maybe we're working on a contract. There's just so many. And that's the problem. Because with every day of delay, the frustration and stress builds. Because you're like, in life and not just in football, you want to know. If you're waiting to find out the results of an exam, you want to know the results. Because you're thinking, did I get those questions right? Did I get them wrong? When you do a driving test, you get told straight away, happy days. Imagine if you've got to wait 3 weeks and you're like, I think I did that wrong, but I'm not sure. Maybe I did pass. Being left in limbo is never great. You want to know the answer. And that's the problem at the moment. That's the big mistake INEOS have made, is they've left everybody in limbo. Mark, I doubt Barada, who obviously will have a lot of control, will want Southgate, says Ben. Say it, what list, says Ash. That's a last-in-class move if they sign him, says Amir. Southgate out, says Tumbleweed. I'll stop supporting United if we get him, says Stephen. They want the average B student they control, says Parker. Look, I hope we're not going to get Southgate, and I hope everybody who says that we're not getting him is right. I don't know why they'd be right, because they don't know who we are getting, but I hope they are right. All I'm saying is, I hope the people that say we're not getting Southgate are right, but I will argue with every single one of them that he's on the list and that they are considering him, and that's what scares me. If they consider Southgate, then what else? What other big mistakes are they going to make? And imagine if they did get him, useless coach with a board that actually appointed him. I mean, what could go wrong? Do you think Southgate being ruthless with England's squad is picking his way of showing he can be tough, says Lee? What, after 6 years? No. If they sack Ten Hag, we as fans need to be INEOS out, says Sean. We need to start an INEOS out movement if Ten Hag is sacked, says Shiva. Thank you very much for that. Also, Sumi says, so with all the Rat, Glazer indecisions, are we going to just say sod it for next season? We're behind in the transfer market as well. Liam says, it's funny Sir Jim is the age of Sir Alex was when he called it a day. At this rate, he's going to retire before we found out the manager, says INEOS. Well, I can say with total conviction that at some point in the next 6 months, we will make a decision. It's funny, reviews don't involve talking to other managers, says Hitton. And if we get rid of Eric, don't we need to inform the stock markets first? I don't think so, Niki. Mark, sorry, you have to go off like this on a Friday. Here's $10, mate. Go get yourself a pint and enjoy Friday, says Amir. Shiva says, if Ten Hag is sacked, then I'm INEOS out. Movement has to start from us. They messed up with Varane already. Prattgate, never in, ever, ever. I'd rather have Ollie than Southgate, says Nicholas. I've always said Ollie's better than Southgate, actually. Mark, is this English bias a way to boost a bid for the government to fund the Wembley of the North by having United be a hub for British talent, says Navid? Political, then. INEOS are cursed. Every sporting project has failed, says Tumbleweed. And they want a B-grade student they can drop. Whoa, just talking about that, actually. Who was it who said it? Tumbleweed says INEOS are cursed. They're selling Nice. That came out from the Independent tonight. They're selling Nice. So it came out from Independent tonight that INEOS are selling Nice. Surprise, surprise. Nobody saw that coming. Nice, therefore, is a failed project. Has to be a failed project. That wasn't what they projected. They never won a French league. I don't think they ever played in the Champions League. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they failed at Nice. It's a failed project. So they're selling Nice, and actually, it's a failure. I mean, I throw it out there with a bit of a question mark. I mean, I can't say that I've studied Nice but I believe it's a failure. So they're selling Nice, and I believe it's a failure. I mean, some might say they've done okay, but it wasn't what they set out to do. So yeah, they're going to sell Nice, which helps Man United, to be honest, in relation to the dual ownership stuff. But yeah, if Southgate was coming to United, surely he would have taken Rashford and Maguire to the Euros, says Thomas. Why? You know, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I've got the England game on anyway. I'm going to have to shoot because we can carry on the conversation there. It's very apt. But I'm over on That's Football in a couple of minutes. But I suppose the bottom line is, I don't want to say I told you so, but I said to you this morning, there's nothing special about today. And all those journalists and all those Twitter accounts and all those websites and all those videos about people saying that something's going to happen today was bullshit. It was guesswork. I told you this morning, I've been told by 2 people, both very, very credible, that there's nothing special about today. It could have got announced as much as it could have got announced yesterday, or it could get announced on Monday. But there was nothing special about today. They never said they were going to announce it by the end of the week. So it's not been announced. Also, to those people out there saying that the Southgate stuff is lies, it's not lies. Prove it's lies. It's not lies. We are interested in Southgate. He is on the list and always has been. Whether he's going to get the job or not, I really hope you're right. But we are talking to him. We have spoken to him. I'm not saying we are talking to him now. We have considered him. He is on the list and he is highly admired. That to me is enough for a meltdown. Pray he doesn't get the job, but don't start saying it's lies. It's out there and it's been out there for ages. We admire Gareth Southgate. Simple as that. Right. I better get over there because they're walking out onto the pitch. So I better get over there and we can continue the conversation. Links in the live chat, by the way. Please, if you're around tomorrow, I'm playing in a charity game with Angry Ginger Ilkeston. It's a 4-team tournament. £6 a ticket. Get down and support us if you can. If you're at a loose end tomorrow, it'd be great to see you down there. Absolutely would love to see that and see you there. Links in the video description and it's in the live chat as well. Let me just see. There we go. Save that. Okay, I will see you over there on That's Football in a couple of minutes.